Hey guys, welcome to Topher Drives and welcome back if you're a long-time subscriber. Today I thought we would just go out for a drive in this 2022 Kia Stinger GT2 and just kind of go over some things like who am I, what is this channel all about. I think it might be fun to just go for a drive and talk about what's going on this channel and what's going to happen in the future, how I got where I got today. Plus we'll be able to enjoy this Kia Stinger just a little bit more. It goes back to Kia tomorrow, so I wanted to get one last drive out in it before I hand the keys back over. I'll walk you around the car real quick before we take off. Michigan is doing this weird snow thing today, but the sky is looking really pretty over there. Here's the car, the Kia Stinger GT2. This is the top of the line Kia Stinger. It's got Brembo brakes, 3.3 liter turbocharged V6, about 365-ish horsepower. It's a real shame. There's rumors that they're going to kill this car. This is the last model year for it. This is the best angle, right here from the back. God, I love that taillight and those quad tips. I'm getting pelted with snow. Let's go ahead and hop back in the car here. Make sure I didn't just cover you guys in snow. Nope, lens looks clean. All right, we're good. Cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and get on the road. Turn on our automatic wipers here. Auto wipers are very hit and miss. I found these Kia Stinger ones to be a little bit dramatic. So then, I guess we'll just go ahead and start right off. Well, who am I? Obviously by now you've gathered that I am not the Topher, but you've probably seen me on the Topher channel, known as Substitute Topher, and also on Daily Motor. If you're familiar with that channel, I do a lot of their reviews as well. I even contribute to the Winding Road Magazine YouTube channel. All of these channels are shot in POV, which is what you're seeing now, so it's all making sense. If you hadn't put the pieces together before, there you go, there it is explained. My whole life I've been interested in cars, and the fact that I'm able to do this now working with the Topher and Charlie from Daily Motor, being able to experience all these cars on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, new cars all the time, is just absolutely unreal, and it doesn't feel real at all. Like I can't believe that I'm living this life, and it's so cool to have people watching and people giving feedback and, you know, people supporting and everything. Also, apologies for the rattle in the back of this Kia Stinger. Apparently it's a common issue. The Topher has said that the 3 Kia Stingers that he's driven, they've all had a rattle in the back hatch, but for some reason Kia hasn't fixed that yet. So Kia, if you're watching, fix the rattle. I think they're just going to kill the car altogether, so they're probably not interested in fixing the rattle. Anyways, funny enough, this is actually where I went to middle school, right here. This is where little 12-year-old Chris used to draw pictures of cars and whatnot, dream about doing what I'm doing now. And then my high school is right here. Lots of years of my life spent over on this campus. Never once did I think that this is what I'd be doing. I grew up also watching Top Gear and taking huge inspiration from those guys, and just whenever someone would ask me, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? You know, I would usually take the easy way out, and I'd be like, oh, I just want to be an engineer. Like, I want to design cars. In fact, I took a lot of engineering classes right in that building right there. But that was never what I really wanted to do. Everyone always told me, oh, there's no money in being a journalist. Don't go get an English degree. It's not worth it. But not everything has to be about money. You know, you can make the most money in the world and hate your life and, you know, not be doing what you want to do. So, God, I'm already giving advice and it's like 3 minutes into the video. Don't base what you do in life off of money. Base it on what you want to do, because if you're doing something that you love and you're being creative, money will come. I guess I could get into now how I ended up in the position I am right now. So, my first job in high school was actually at a Ford dealership, Gene Buttman Ford in Ypsilanti, Michigan, about 15 minutes down the road. I was in there with my grandpa when I was like 13 or 14. My grandpa was buying a Taurus show, which I thought was the coolest thing ever at the time, but I happened to cross paths with the owner, the owner's son, and we got to talking, and we're talking cars and everything, and it got to the point where he was like, hey man, when you're old enough to work, come in here and, you know, you can be a porter, and which is like every 14-year-old's dream, being a porter. You get to drive cars around and just move cars, park cars in the parking lot, which doesn't seem like a lot probably to a lot of you watching this, but as a 14-year-old, that was like the dream job. I was so excited to have that opportunity. And when I was 15, I didn't even have a driver's license yet. I was hired on as a porter, which, thinking back, I don't know if that was legal. Although it was just in a parking lot, I think that was what made it legal. But I was, driving cars around in the parking lot, and I could drive a manual when I was 15, and I thought I was super cool. Focus STs or Mustangs would come in, and I'd be able to drive those around the parking lot. And I actually stayed at that job for quite a few summers. So I started when I was 15 and worked that job all the way through high school. So summer after my sophomore year, junior year, and senior year, I was building more upon what I was doing each year in that job. It went from just being a porter to greeting customers, getting info off cars, and eventually I became an actual service writer, which I don't recommend you do. I mean, the experience, I don't regret the experience, but don't be a service writer. It's really not a good job for your mental health. But it was all right as a high schooler. I could handle it. So anyways, one day, I'm doing my thing, going out in the service lane, greeting customers, and this white 2015 or 16, whatever year it was, Subaru WRX pulls into the service lane. And who gets out? The Topher. That was my first time meeting that guy, and I had no idea who he was. I just knew it was this cool guy had pulled up in a WRX, and at the time, what's more attractive to a teenager than a Subaru WRX? I was just thrilled to see that car pull into the service lane. And, introduced myself. We got talking. I had to have been 16, actually, because I had my Cobalt SS there in the parking lot. I remember showing him that car, and he was like, oh my gosh, I filmed for this channel called Winding Road. Like, we should film a video on your Cobalt SS. And I was like, holy crap, my car is going to be on the internet? What? So that's really how it all started. And this is terrible advice, because essentially what I'm saying is, well, this all happened by chance. It's all about who you know, not really necessarily as important what you know. It's about who you know. And I was extremely fortunate to meet the Topher that day. Him and I have been really good friends ever since. I'm just unbelievably lucky to have kept contact with him through when I went to college and everything. And everything worked out well. I went to Northwood University, which is in Midland, Michigan. If you're a Michigander, you'll know. Well, it's right here, right in the middle of Michigan. And I studied automotive marketing and management, so I went to school for business. And that was a good experience. Very expensive. It was a very expensive experience. But I don't regret that either. I think going to college is something that it's a good experience to have, to be out on your own, but still have support from similar people that are your age to grow as a person and to figure out what you want to do in life. So I graduated in 2020, actually, during the height of the pandemic, right when everything was locked down. And obviously, graduating in April of 2020, nobody was hiring, nobody was looking for anyone, no one knew what was going to happen in the world. So I came back, started living with my parents again, and was kind of just like hanging out. I was doing some part-time work over at Gene Buttman Ford again. I was doing some video work for them, some advertising, marketing, stuff like that, just part-time. It's time to engage sport mode, excuse me. It's super cool in this car when you put it in sport mode. The bolsters tighten on you. This thing is actually really, really quick. Oh, yes. Anyways, so I graduated school. I was just doing part-time work, and actually summer prior, I had the opportunity to acquire my dream car, a Porsche Cayman S, 2006, so the first model year of that car. Guards red, natural brown interior, 6-speed, chef's kiss, my absolute dream car. And, obviously every time I got a new car, I would meet up with the Topher, and we would film my new car for, it started as Winding Road, but then he grew so rapidly with the Topher channel, we ended up just filming all of my cars on the Topher channel. And one thing led to another, and I started doing some
a railroad crossing.
Jeeves, you scared the crap out of me, sir. Jeeves is very useful there on Waze, but sometimes he's a little bit of a jump scare, especially if you're not listening to music. But anyways, working with the Topher and sort of emerging myself into his world, I started just doing social media and helping him with some brand deals, because he was just getting to the level of a following where I was like, dude, why are you not doing brand deals? And all of a sudden I was on board, and then I was working for the Topher. It was a dream come true. And you know, I wasn't driving cars yet or anything like that. I was just, you know, reaching out to brands, trying to get us some brand deals. And then I started doing social media work where I would take the cars out for, you know, 30-40 minutes at a time, film TikToks and Instagram Reels. And man, did I think that was the coolest thing ever. Getting to experience all these new cars and being able to film them, that alone, you know, not even keeping them for days at a time like I am now, I mean, that alone was just awesome. So as you can see, when you're doing self-employed stuff like this, often things build exponentially. So a year later now, I'm at the point where I'm filming full videos for Winding Road, full videos for the Topher, full videos for Daily Motor. So there you go. There's your question answered. A lot of people DM me on Instagram and they're like, dude, how do you do what you do? Like, how did you get into this job? And funny enough, I did the same thing to Chris, the Topher, when I was in high school, when I was in college. I had his email. I would email him. I'd be like, dude, how did you do all this? Like, how did you get to this level? And his response was essentially what I just spent the last 5 minutes talking about, is it's all about luck. It's all about knowing people. It's all about getting in at just the right time. There's never really a job application for something like this. You just have to insert yourself, show your value, and then work your way up that way. And I'm so thankful that not only did I have that advice, but also that I was able to get this opportunity. Shoot, man, if you're in a job that you really hate and you have the financial means, you know, I'm not telling you to quit your job, because that's not the smartest move. But if you're in a situation where you can afford, if you've got enough in savings, you can afford to take a couple months or, you know, even a year to focus on doing something that you really want to do and starting that business or getting yourself into whatever you actually want to do in life, it's totally worth it. And I'm so happy that I'm in this position that I'm in right now. So there's that question answered. What else? Well, how about the channel, Topher Drives? Being that I had access to all these cars, I figured, oh, why don't I start a personal TikTok page? And I go by Topher with my family, and so does the Topher. I thought, oh, well, I'll stay on brand and I'll have Topher in the name of my TikTok. So Topher Drives emerged from nothing on TikTok. I think I had like 100 followers my first couple of months on TikTok, and then I made a video. It's still up. If you look up Topher Drives on TikTok, you can find it. I made a video in a 2021 F-150 Limited or Platinum or something, where I was pressing on the interior and it was creaking horribly. I mean, this truck, I think it was a pre-production truck, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt there and say that it was maybe assembled in a way that wasn't up to production standards. But this thing was creaking so badly, and I mean, the video just went viral. It had, I think in the first 24 hours, it had 1 million views. And, you know, from there I got 4,000 followers or something like that. And I've had a couple more videos that have done well. And recently we had a Mercedes Maybach GLS 600, and I filmed a video of me bouncing in recovery mode, and the people on the internet thought that was hilarious. So that one got a couple million views too. So the Topher Drives name was born out of TikTok, and this channel that you're watching this video on right now used to be called Driven by Dreams, which is a name that I really like. And I was kind of sad to move away from that name because I really like that. But I figured I would stay consistent across platforms and call my YouTube channel Topher Drives as well. Don't you hate when your open curvy road is ruined by someone in a Subaru? That is just the worst. Anyway, so that's the story behind the name of the channel. And if you haven't already seen, go back and check out. I've got 2 videos up right now. I just bought this horrible 1986 Mercedes 420 SEL W126 that I bought sight unseen from Copart, that was listed as vandalism damage, and in the pictures it looked like someone had just gone with a baseball bat and, you know, beat the crap out of it. But it turns out that it was shot with a weapon that, I'm always weary to talk about guns on YouTube, but I guess I'm more than a minute and a half into my video. But Yeah, this thing was shot up. I don't know if it was in a drive-by or if it was shot while it was parked or something, but I mean, this thing is just, it's got bullet holes all over it. It's got a bullet hole in the driver's door, through the pillars on the passenger side. I mean, most of the windows are blown out. It runs and drives not well. If you go back to the last video I uploaded, you can actually see me drive it for the first time, which went well, mostly. I think it needs a fuel pump, and it's also leaking transmission fluid, but you know, it's an 80s Mercedes, so it's not gonna be the most reliable thing in the world, but I think it's important to have cars like that are unique. Also, check this house out. It's an orange house, and they've got an orange Nissan Rogue. I always think that's funny when I pass that. I think it's important to have cars like that are just out of the ordinary. So I'm really excited to get that car actually going. I'll hopefully be able to drive it this spring, this summer, and be able to make some more content for you guys on that. I really want to do a color change. I think I'm going to throw like 4 new doors on it. Just do a color change and lower it on some period correct wheels. And I've always wanted a W126, which is why I so stupidly just bought that one sight unseen. Oh, here we go. Yeah, good amount of torque from this 3.3 liter V6 in this Kia Stinger. It's always a treat getting cars like this because we get so many SUVs, and because that's just what the market is right now. And it's cool when we get a sports sedan like this, especially something that's so unique like the Kia Stinger. Like, this is an enthusiast choice. I know that Kia doesn't have the enthusiast pedigree that a brand like BMW or Mercedes or Porsche has. But what's funny is I picture people walking into a BMW or an Audi or a Mercedes dealership and accidentally leaving with like an E53 AMG or an S4 or an M340i or something. You know, they just go in and they're like, oh, give me something fast, I don't care. But nobody walks into a Kia dealership and accidentally leaves with a Stinger. Like, this is something that people are doing research. They're like, oh, you know, I don't want a 540i, I don't want an E53, I want a Kia Stinger. And this is what they go into the dealership looking for. So it's just cool in that way that it's something that's a little bit different. And I really enjoyed driving it the past, well, I've been driving it for like 4 days now. It's been a real treat. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. I think it could benefit maybe from an inline 6 as opposed to a V6. And the transmission, though it does shift fast, it's not the most inspiring unit. It isn't bad, don't get me wrong there. But I think it could be tuned a little bit more aggressively. So sometimes you get this weird throttle response that almost feels like turbo lag, but then I don't know. Sometimes just going for a drive in the middle of nowhere is just like the best thing ever. Now, apparently this car has launch control, but I have no idea how to use it. You'd think just sport mode, maybe you go like traction control off and just brake and gas, but I tried doing that earlier and it didn't work, especially because auto stop start is on. Turn that off. Okay, let's try it. Maybe this is just launch control and it doesn't tell you. Oof. Yeah, that's pretty quick. There's something nice about driving cars that aren't so violent all the time. You know, I can just put this thing back into comfort mode and it'll settle right down. I love a good car like this that's, I hate to say, not like a BMW M3 or a stupid X3M competition that's just so violent all the time for no reason. This car's got a very split personality and I really like that. See, I'm in comfort mode right now, but I can still spiritedly go around this corner. Not scare myself. Yeah, there you go. Love the steering wheel on this car too. It's a nice, attractive unit with a flat bottom. Feels nice in the hands. I've taken big inspiration for this style of video from Tedward, and if you guys don't subscribe to Tedward, you absolutely should, because sometimes when I find myself like anxious or just needing a break from reality, I really like watching Tedward's videos in a series that he calls Therapy Drives, and that's where my inspiration for this video comes from. And I hope to do something similar where we can just go out for a drive in something that's exciting, whether it be a press car or one of my personal cars, and just talk about different things. And got a couple more ideas for what I want to do, but I thought today would be a good time to just kind of introduce myself and explain who I am for people that don't know. A lot of people comment on the Topher's videos and they think that he's lying about having a Substitute Topher. Well, nope. It is I, Substitute Topher. Not the Topher, I am just a Topher. Maybe let's do this. Why don't you guys comment down below if you have not even necessarily any questions for me. I know I'm not a celebrity, so I'm not like, comment down below what you want to know, a Q&A. No, I mean, you can if you want, but comment down below just like maybe some fun topics that that you want to talk about, or things that you want my take on, or what cars you want to see, I guess. I mean, I can't really control that part, but if you want to pick from any of my personal cars, I have a 2006 Porsche Cayman S, a 2003 Lexus IS 300 with a 5-speed manual, a 2009 Chevy Cobalt SS, which was my first car that I mentioned earlier. That car is still around. I have, which I'm sure you've seen on the Topher channel, a 364,000 mile BMW E46 5-speed manual, and then I've got my Mercedes. I won't be driving that anytime soon on one of these drives, but maybe one day in the future we'll go for a drive in that Benz, and that'll be a good accomplishment for me once I've hopefully got that thing all sorted out. Also, it looks like I've unintentionally let this entire Skizzy Mars album play on silent the whole time that we've been driving. Really good album if you guys haven't checked it out. It's called Alone Together. I think it's from like 2015. I don't know, this album helped me get through college. Big fan. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap things up for us today. I hope you enjoyed the first rendition in this series that I still don't know what I'm going to name, but sometimes it's fun to just go for a drive and not only talk about the car, but, you know, just kind of enjoy yourself, blow off some steam. It's the best thing for me when I've been having a bad day, is just to go out, go for a drive, even during winter. We're lucky to not be engulfed by a snow squall today, so that'll wrap it up for us. Do one more little walk around to the car. Kia, if you're watching this, please don't kill the Stinger. Such a cool platform and just a cool car altogether. I don't really have much bad to say about this, other than there's a rattle in the hatch, but we'll gloss over that for the sake of trying to get Kia to keep making this car. Alright guys, well thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon in a video of similar style, but if you haven't already, go check out my other videos fixing up my bullet wounded Mercedes, and I'll be back soon with more videos on that, as well as hopefully some other videos just going out and going for a drive. So again, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Topher Drives. I think I just hit 1,000 subscribers, so that's super cool. Appreciate all your support, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.